Hi everyone, let's look over week 3. Okay, we're going to talk about um, information retrieval strategies, and this week we're specifically looking at using library catalogs. Now, lots of industries, lots of software have catalogs. Catalogs are, you can even think of the ones you get in the mail, where like if you were to get something from like King Arthur Baking or Macy's or other stores like that, they will have a like they list everything that they have available, right? So that's essentially what a library catalog is. Each individual library will have a listing and a database of everything they have available and a search bar that you can use to find that material. And so this week and I know that you've probably learned a lot about these in other classes. You might already be kind of like a library search expert. But this is specifically, we're kind of focusing on how we are using the library catalog to retrieve information and what those information sources kind of look like. So this week, we'll be reading about the library catalog, and there's 2 readings that you're going to be doing, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. I'm also this week organizing you. We already kind of looked at it in week 2, where you can kind of give some of your thoughts and feelings about how you like to study, what are some of your interests, that kind of thing. And then I'm going to be finishing that up this week, week 3, and actually organizing you into your semester-long study groups. Now, these, like I mentioned before, these study groups, you're not going to have to work on a project together. You're not going to have to do anything like large. It's really just a way for me to be able to say, hey, this week in the discussion board, you're only going to be working with your group. You're only going to be answering the question and the group's going to see. Or we might be utilizing groups over Pronto, where you'll share gifts and feelings about the readings in Pronto. So that's what's really happening with those study groups. So I'll be breaking you into those groups week 3, okay? And then we have a discussion board that is exploring online catalogs. Okay, so this is something that you're going to be replying to the topic, and then you have 2 replies to peers during that time. So let's look into the reading now. Okay, so the reading this week is going to take place in 2 free textbooks. The first one is called Introduction to College Research, and you are going to be clicking on this link that's called Finding Materials in the Library, and that will take you to the specific section of the chapter that we'll be reading. So I want you, and I have little images here to kind of show you what that will look like. So it's just this chapter, and it starts chapter scenario, right? And goes all the way to filters and advanced options. Okay, so here I just want to show you what that looks like. So I'm going to click on Finding Materials in the Library. It's going to open up to this. And I'm going to move my little screen a little bit so you can see the bottom of the page. There's not a lot of reading, but you'll see in the bottom right-hand corner, it'll say Next Chapter Scenario. So when you click that, it'll take the next thing for you to read. Next. It'll read about this. And OneSearch, just so you know, that's something that the California Community College has called all of their search bars. We have that at Santa Ana College. Most California community colleges have OneSearch. They just might not call it OneSearch. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. And remember, you're only reading Finding Materials in the Library. It's really not very long. It's very short. The second reading in the second textbook is called Foundations of Library Services. This is a textbook that was written by librarians, including myself, at Santa Ana College and also Pasadena City College and Long Beach City College. We got together to write this. The individual chapters that you read are Chapter 2, Public Libraries, Service, Academic, Service, School, and then Special. So this kind of shows you about like the different library types. And I know you've probably learned about this in the past too and how they function, but look at this reading and really think about how information sources are utilized in these different library types. So that's what we need to think about with this reading. So it might be that in a different class, you looked at this and we're looking at like, oh, these are the things I might be doing in a public library, or this might be the job I would be doing in a school library. Now think, as you read through this, who are your patrons and what are the information types that those patrons will need? So a school library and the like elementary school, the information types that they're going to be needing and the literacy that they are going to be needing to learn is going to be different than if you worked in a medical library. What are the information types that they would need in a special library differently? And how would you need to know how to find those information types and to evaluate those information types for those patrons? So that's what kind of need to think about as you're reading this, and not just what could I be doing, but how do sources and information live within these libraries and who are the people that need them? Okay, so that's what we're doing this week. If you have questions, always reach out to me and I will see you next week.